real ugly coming up in the next year as far as free agents are concerned and what holes they can fill in the draft. But that being said, the Cubs are rebuilding, the White Sox are rebuilding, the Blackhawks are in a very good place for winning right now, and that's great. I'm not saying the Bears should go shift to rebuilding. If they did, I understand it and I
It,
accept it. Let's go forward with
it's
it. But
they're not saying it, but
yeah.
Matt, they are. Do
Oh
you know how
yeah.
much they have? I don't have an exact number, and shoot me for not having the exact number in front of my face, but they have a ridiculous amount of money coming off the books this year after this
Yeah.
season. They're going to have a lot to spend in free agency, and I know that it's not all about free agency. Um, look look around the league at who's. I mean, come on, Green Bay, dude, the team we're playing tonight. How many running backs have gone down for them this season? And guess
Yeah.
what? Their running game's not struggling.
No, number 3 in the league as it stands
You know
right
why
now.
it's not struggling? Because every single person on that team has a person standing right behind them that knows what to do, that can do it, that knows how to do it, and that will do it and get it done. They just have guys stepping in. I don't know. The Patriots have the same philosophy. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
as like because for a while there, it was ridiculously out of control with the Patriots, and you would be like, okay, so this guy got hurt, or this guy left this year, and somebody's just waiting in line, and the Packers are the same way, and you know why? Because they draft that way.
Yeah.
You know, it, you also there's other things you have going on in Green Bay that might make it easier to concentrate on football because there's nothing else to do. There's no trouble to get into. But that
Right.
doesn't, that argument kind of goes out the window if you're talking about the Patriots because,
You're in Boston.
yeah,
Yeah.
and one of them was out murdering people
Yeah,
apparently.
exactly.
So there is
Yeah.
stuff to do. Um, I don't know how good the stuff is, but
Well,
whatever.
good enough to, kill people over anyway. Uh, but the Bulls are just completely content with spoon feeding the fan base,
Yeah.
the Chicago their beat reporters, their the coverage, the media, everything. Everyone is just like, "Oh, okay, you're gonna do this? Yeah, okay, great." And with and when it blows up in their face and when it falls apart just right at their feet, oh, it's okay. They just get a pass, and no one is called to the carpet. Is Chicago a bad basketball town? For a team that celebrated 6 championships with Michael Jordan, one of the greatest players to ever play the game, I don't think we should be as stupid or as bad of a basketball town as we are. And it's I don't know what it takes to change. I don't know if it's going to take new ownership. I don't know if it's going to take a new general manager. I don't know. But certainly right now, in what we saw this past the past big free agency a few years ago, Chicago's not a destination. For whatever reason, it's not. And I don't know why. If it's something about the shadow of Jordan, I certainly hope not. I would like to think that the organization is professional enough and NBA players are professional enough to understand that they have their own legacy to worry about and they should want to win no matter who won before them. If that was the
Yeah,
case,
well,
the
it's
Yankees would have
totally,
stopped
yeah.
winning in the
It's
20s.
totally short-sighted because, especially in today's league, like I could understand if this was like when it first started in the years right after everybody left, why you wouldn't want to come here.
Yeah.
Because you totally knew it was rebuilding, you totally knew what was going on, and you totally knew that I'll give it to you know what you want whatever you want to say. Jerry Krause, he built that team. He put it
Yeah.
together. It was absolutely genius the moves he made on a day in day out basis for about 6 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're talking, I mean, well, you're talking about the championships, but really over the course with all the building of the team and everything, really over the course of about 10 years probably. And
Yeah.
then it stopped. There was just horrible, horrible, horrible decisions made. I mean, I'm listening to a game last night, and the Bulls are playing the Knicks, and you have Tyson Chandler on the Knicks, who turned out to be a phenomenal player.
Oh
There are
yeah.
no two ways about it. And you know what? Out of the two that were drafted, he's definitely, you could tell he's a hard worker. You don't come from being drafted out of high school and then become the NBA Defensive Player of the Year without working hard. Now, the other one, Curry, we all
Yeah.
know how that
No.
turned out.
No.
But how like stupid of it. And I know that, hey, that was like, if you want to say that was the wave of, the hot thing to do to draft the high school kids because that's what was going on. But you drafted two of them. Two.
Yeah.
Like you drafted two 18-year-old kids that are right out of high school to fit in with a team of a bunch of other young guys. And you thought
Yeah.
it was going to be okay. It got ruined, and that was the problem. And then I think maybe the problem is that the whole, like how they did with when they won before. They're really really good with Doug Collins. Really good with Doug Collins. And then they decided that he's not going to take us anymore.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen. Let's move, this is the guy we want. He's right here. And they went to Phil. Paxton did a really great job for a while. And now it seems like, you were saying very stagnant. So is that where the change is needed? Um,
I would hope
do you
so.
have your coach? And because I don't, it's a tough thing to say when we were talking earlier about, well, the regular season versus the playoffs and what the rest of the league does. But if you're deeper, you can afford to put a little bit more on the regular season. If you're not a deep team, it doesn't make, whatever you think. If you have a coach that wants to go that way, wouldn't you want the team to be as deep as possible? Because it happens, and you know what? They're gonna get injured, and it's gonna be the middle of the season, and you know what? They're gonna be playing an 8-man rotation. I don't think you can consistently win in the league with an 8-man rotation,
Yeah.
night in and night out. Okay, I know it happens a lot. I know teams stick to their core of guys, but there's got to be minutes picked up here or there to get they're traveling, they're whatever. They're playing at a high level, but who knows if that's going to happen? I don't feel like it's going to happen. Going back to you brought up new ownership. Um, I don't know too much about it, but I have definitely heard about how Reinsdorf would get rid of the White Sox before he would get rid of the Bulls. So
Yeah.
is that a real possible? You know what I mean?
Well,
Is it a possibility that he would? I mean, that's the other thing you're gonna look at. Like, people go away. I'm not saying like Reinsdorf's in bad health or whatever, but it's gonna happen at some point. Like,
no, you're
and
right. It
does it
is,
stay in
and
the family? Do his kids want? You know what I mean?
I know that his son was doing a lot of work with the Bulls D League team
All right.
and has been getting that sort of experience of ownership or front office, those sorts of things. Now, I said I said a while ago that I would be completely content if the Reinsdorf ownership group sold off whatever interest they had in the Bulls and put that money into the White Sox. I said that a long time ago, and I would still be completely fine with that. Whether I know that Reinsdorf's not going to be around forever, and I'm very grateful for all of the things he's done for sports fans in the city. I I'm completely fine with some of the changes that really do need to happen. Probably with both teams, the Bulls as well as the White Sox. There's a few things that do trouble me and aren't necessarily best for business, but it's it, I winning, seeing what winning can do, and feeling and being a fan of what winning is in a winning organization, especially, I don't know, maybe I should have had this mentality and fans should have had this mentality back in the Bulls era. Yeah, but yeah, the Bulls heyday era, excuse me. But all I wanted, all I want for the White Sox or the Bulls is to have sustained success and have that chance. The Blackhawks are doing a very, very good job of doing that, and hopefully instilling that sort of mentality into their fan base. The Cubs, that's the idea behind Theoball, behind building your farm organization, getting the international picks, bringing in, just loading up on young talent and seeing what sticks and making sure that you can have the chance for sustained success. Their search right now, okay, what I still think, if they hired back Dale Fame for a couple years, I wouldn't necessarily be opposed to it. It's kind of like they're just going to get Dale 1.5. They're not going to get that next step manager. I don't know what the answer is. If it would be to go out and get, you hope to get the next Joe Torre, or I don't know, the next Terry Francona, whatever the case may be. But this shift towards first-year managers isn't necessarily for me. I'm not sold on it yet. But what about you?
I think it depends on the first year manager. I
Yeah.
mean, I mean, look at Mike Matheny. And I don't mean to laugh because, like, when they made that hire, it was like, eh, okay. It seemed a little weird. Didn't see it happening, but it worked out.
Right.
Ventura had a pretty good first season. You know, I don't know. There's so many things that go into it, I think, but when you still have whatever they want to say, they're definitely putting it out there that they're building on top of Castro and Rizzo. When those guys keep on continuously doing the same things over and over again, where where does it come from? Does it come from it could come from anybody. It could come from a first year manager. Um, you know, it could come from a guy named like Lou, but it probably won't. But I have no idea what they can do, and it's nice to know that, you know, hey, it's nice to know you're going in the right direction, but is it
Yeah.
really happening? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't.
I don't know.
I agree with you, the Bulls. They have to. You got to make a decision of what they're going to do. You know what I mean? Are you just going to be? Are you going to be a solid team during the regular season for, a good 7 years, but make the playoffs, but not get past anywhere, or not get past the second round or whoever? Or are you just gonna like blow it up and start over? But I
Yeah,
don't know. I definitely don't know if I don't know if the NBA is the right league to blow it up and start over.
it's the I guess it's not, because with NBA free agency everything can change very quickly for you.
Yeah.
Well, for a team I should say. But it's, man, I, I don't know, and maybe it's just the way that the current NBA structure is, where 8 teams get into the playoffs and you can sell it to your fan base. Hey, we made the playoffs for 7 consecutive years. Okay, but you were one and done. I mean, if they're content with being the Atlanta Braves and being a one and done team, okay, tell us that.